guys? This is Corey with Bonafide Spear Guns. This video I'm going to go over how exactly I cast the loading butts on the back of my spear guns. What I mean by loading butts is actually these rubber, or they're actually a polyurethane rubber that goes onto the back of the butt and makes it a lot more comfortable for whenever you load your spear gun. I've also incorporated spare shaft holders onto the sides, so that way you don't have to put any type of excess spare shaft holder and drill holes through the spear gun. So first off, we are going to use your Alumilite Flex 80. This has a durometer of 80, so it's a little bit more firm. I also have a 60 that I like to use on some of the new butts, but for today we're actually going to use the 80. Now this stuff right here, I actually just took it out of the refrigerator because it kicks so fast you have to refrigerate it. That way you have enough working time for you to vacuum degas it, pour it into the two-part mold, and then go ahead and pressurize it in the pressure chamber. So I've figured out exactly how many grams it takes to cast one of these butts, and this is your part. Is what you would call it. So whenever you're actually making your own butt or whatnot, you're going to make your first butt out of wood, and that you're going to take apart a two-part mold off of it. So you want to make sure you have it perfect in every detail. So that's actually what we took our two-part mold off of, and as you can see, this is our two-part mold. So, but with working with this Flex 80, you want to make sure you have everything prepped before you start to mix the kicker inside of it. So I always use electrical tape to wrap the part A and part B of the two-part mold, simply because the electric tape will stretch. It won't squeeze the mold together to where you actually have irregularities in it. So I go ahead and tape it together. Now that this is ready, we can go ahead and mix our polyurethane rubber. You want to go ahead and start on a digital scale. The cup that I'm mixing in, I put onto the scale. That way, whenever it turns on, it's at 0. And I always like to work in grams. That way, it's very, very accurate. Now, on this butt right here, it takes about 80 grams of part A and 80 grams of part B. It's a 1-to-1 mixture. So I'll get in 80. And it's very important that you get pretty precise. So came out to about 83. And you can add pigments to make your butt whatever color you want. You got blues, you got blacks, you got reds, yellows, whatever color you want. And on this one right here, to give it a nice dark black, it's about 12 drops of pigment. So it's 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 12. Okay. We got our pigment. We're going to use our mixing cup. You want to go ahead and mix up the pigment up into the part A before you add the catalyst into the rubber, because you want everything mixed up really well, because you literally have minutes to be able to work with once you add part B into it. So now that we have everything worked together, we're going to go ahead and zero your scale back out and go to 83. As you can see, it's clumpy because from keeping it into the fridge. Alright, 83. I'm going to mix it real well. Mix it in there. Get it nice and mixed up. Okay, now we're going to throw it into the vacuum chamber. Close it off. Turn the pump on whenever it's done, because the it will actually rise like a cake. It will rise, as you can see, it's rising to the top, and whenever all the air is totally out of it, the entire thing will drop. As you can see, all the air bubbles pulling. And there it goes, it starts to drop. Once it drops, turn it off, let the air back into the chamber. I just use these disposable cups, kind of squeeze it, get it into the 2-part mold, and you just kind of want to take your time, try to get it in there as fast as possible. Now in this 2-part mold, these holes right here are actually where the spare shaft holders go. And in the middle is your gate, and there's actually vent holes, so that way it has plenty of opportunity for the air to escape. Now as you can see, it's starting to get to the top. Try to get it as much as I possibly can. Once I get pretty much all the way to the top, I'll actually take it and roll it, shake it, that way the rubber can get all onto the outside walls of your part, so that way there's no gaps or anything. Once you have that, I actually put these, they taper down, so that way when you push the shaft in, it actually holds it nice and tight. Looks like I want to add just a little bit more. And it will go ahead and now you want to go ahead and put a little bit extra into the top, so that way whenever the air pressure squeezes down onto it, it'll actually squeeze it into the cavity. So, take our lid off, drop this in here, put it into our pressure tank, lock it down. Now we're going to fill the chamber with about 40 psi. Anything more than that and it will actually squeeze some of the material out of the 2-part mold. So we'll go ahead and fill it. 40 psi. And now we go ahead and set our timer for an hour, and in 60 minutes we can go ahead and demold it and take a look at our part. Alright, so guys, so it's been about an hour, so we're going to go ahead and relieve the pressure out of our pressure pot, pull our 2-part mold out, and see what our butt looks like. As I said, we have about 40 psi of pressure in this pressure pot to kind of be extra cautious, squeeze out any minute bubbles or air gas bubbles that might form. Now, I've released these inserts. Now what these inserts are, it's 5/16 bolts that I've actually ground down and tapered. So basically whenever I insert this into the 2-part mold, the the polyurethane rubber actually forms around this, so when the spare shaft is put into these holes, the deeper you push them in, the tighter it is, so it gives you a really nice seal. So we're going to go ahead and take our inserts out. As you can see, I've sprayed them with a aerosol based silicone rubber. That way it comes off very easily. And basically this is the excess material that has formed on the top of our two-part mold. So you kind of want to, as you can see, it just peels right off. Now you're going to take your razor blade and I'm going to cut it kind of at the top. As you can see, these are our vent holes, like so. And we'll go ahead and cut our electrical tape. Like so. And then we will peel our two-part mold apart. As you can see, there's the bottom, and I've created a vent around the parting line of our two-part mold. That way no air bubbles or anything like that can get trapped. Gives us a really nice uniform seal. Now this is an RTV rubber, silicone rubber, so you kind of, it's very flexible, somewhat has a rigid feel to it. Kind of just break it apart, and then I just take the 5/16 shafts in there, and you just push it right out, and there you go. A perfect replica of our original part. Now making these molds, the hardest part is definitely creating your original part, especially if you don't have access to any type of milling machines or anything. You know, all this is completely made by hand. As you can see, I'm in the process of redesigning a couple new molds, you know, for a couple different models. You know, with the insert, they're not going to be round like this. It's a totally different shape, so basically I have to cast it out of a polyurethane and then epoxy, you know, the spare shaft holders and stuff like that on. So that's what I'm actually in the process of doing there. But once you've taken your part out, once we've taken it out, just take a straight blade and your little vent holes on the top and just boom, pop them right off. Pop them right off. Gives you a nice clean look. Like so. And then we take our main pouring screw and clean that up. Like so. And there we go. And as you can see, it goes along with the rest of them. You can reproduce these. Takes about an hour for them to harden. So if you have the amount of time, you can just produce them. As you can see, we make all of our rubber grips that go onto the side of our stainless steel handles, everything like that. So hope you guys enjoyed it. Kind of see how some of the stuff's made here at Bonafide Spear Guns. And I look forward to showing you a next tutorial video on something else that we do here. All right, see you guys soon.